Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Don Lemon Show. Welcome to this special edition. Let's get started. Support comes from ZBiotics. Now, let me be honest. After a night out with drinks, I don't bounce back the way that I used to. For a long time, I felt like I had to choose between having a good night or a good next day. That changed when I found ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic created by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, alcohol turns into this toxic byproduct right in your gut. It's that buildup. It's not dehydration. That's what makes you feel awful the next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme that breaks that down. Now, I take it before my first drink. I enjoy the night. I drink responsibly, and actually, I feel like myself the next day. So here's what you do if you want to feel your best, okay? Drink responsibly and then wake up tomorrow feeling great. Go to zbiotics.com/lemon and use the code lemon for 15% off. That's zbiotics.com/lemon. Use the code lemon for 15% off. Welcome to the program, everyone. Hello, lemon heads. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. That was this morning. I had a little suit and tie on because I was hosting a Dr. King breakfast, which just was amazing. So let me just say this. Is there anything going on in the news? Is there anything happening in the news today? I got to tell you, it's weird sometimes when these things happen. Usually every time there's something big that happens in my life, I am the person who is like least connected to it. I've been sort of in a protected bubble. Last night when this all started happening, I was like delayed in an airport and could not figure out how to get to get all the stuff that I needed, just trying to deal with like rearranging flights and all of that. And then today I was in the middle of this Dr. King thing, which was great to all of the support that I got and the encouragement saying, we got your back. Don't worry about it. The number of attorneys who are like, this is a slam dunk. You better call us. We're going to mobilize civil rights attorneys, huge attorneys. So, we'll see what if I need any of that or any of that happens, but it just makes you feel good, especially the people who fought for our freedom, for civil rights, and who actually worked with Dr. King, reaching out and offering their support. So that means a lot to me, the world to me. Another person that means the world to me is my brother from another mother who is always there. And when I need to talk to someone and I need someone who's been there, I call it old heads, is Mr. D.L. Hughley, my friend. DL called me just before the show and cheered me up. And DL, come on into the program.
Hey, baby boy.
On screen next to what?
Yeah, I've never been next to a black Klansman before. It's Don Lemon's gonna start Black Klansman 2. It's crazy. It's crazy.
DL,
it's crazy.
So you saw what's happening, right? You probably know more about it than I do because I've been so busy all day. What do you think?
I do. I think this is an example of them perverting Dr. King's legacy and the history of civil rights and the history of race relations in this country to their own ends. It's interesting that people are angry with you for, I guess Black Lives Matter found out that somebody associated with the church in St. Paul was the acting director of ICE, and Black Lives Matter staged the protest that you happened to cover. But what's more interesting is Black Lives Matter was protecting and fighting for the rights of Renee Good, a white woman, while All Lives Matter were paying money to her murderers. And so it's just we find ourselves, and it is Dr. King's birthday, and we're honoring it. But we got to remember, Dr. King gave a speech. One of his famous speeches was a eulogy for 4 Black girls that were killed in the Birmingham church bombing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can't use church. They're angry at you using church for a speech, but Black churches have been bombed. In 1996, there were 200 Black churches that were burned. 12 years ago, Dylann Roof slaughtered 9 people at a church. So you can burn churches, you can shoot churches, you can bomb churches, but don't protest in churches. It's the craziest thing.
Wait, talk more about that. but don't protest the churches. I mean, they weren't so mad when you protested and bombed the black churches. So what are you
No,
saying explicitly, specifically?
I think Jesus protested in his temple. He protested in the church. He didn't like the greed and corruption he saw. There are 2 times in the gospel Jesus protested twice. So if he can do it, you can too.
Yeah.
I think it's ironic that the very people who
DL, let me
wanted
just
to,
clear you real quick. I wasn't protesting. I was just reporting. I wasn't
right?
there.
Of course you weren't. Of course you weren't. I understand that, but you're going to explain that to. can, can you guys get my picture? I've never taken a picture with a classmate before. It's so crazy. Of course you were, but the more salient point is that the very people who are angry that protests erupted in church are the very people who tried to this administration tried to get courts to allow them to arrest migrants in church.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to arrest them in church.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing about church is Jesus told us exactly how he wanted us to treat the stranger. He wanted us to feed them. He wanted to clothe them. He wanted to protect them. He didn't say, hey, after all that, throw them in vans and drive them to Venezuela. He didn't say that.
Yes, you're right. And look, I want you to stand by because I want to bring someone in, and that is Mr. Attorney General. Are you there? The Attorney General of Minnesota, Mr. Keith Ellison, is here. Thank you, Attorney General, for joining me. Thank you for joining DL.
Hey, fellas.
Wait a minute, I got a Klansman and the Attorney General. I've never been in this situation before. This is
First time for everything, brother.
Attorney General, I know you know what's going on. I'm sure you've heard of what's going on. What do you think of this and what happened at the church and all that?
Well, let me tell you, I think that the protest is fundamental to American society. This country started in a protest, and it's freedom of expression. People have a right to lift up their voices and make their peace, and none of us are immune from the voice of the public. So quite honestly, I think that you got the First Amendment, freedom of religion, and the First Amendment, freedom of expression. And I think that I think it's just something you got to live with in a society like this. So this administration is real tender about things when it comes to their own interests, but they don't care about the same things when those things don't lie in their favor. So
Mm-hmm.
they're getting tender about a church service now, but these people they're arresting people in clinics, schools, churches, anywhere they choose to do it, and so they don't really care about sacred and sensitive places unless it works in their favor. And they get real sensitive and real about police until those police are protecting democracy. Then they don't care about police suddenly. I mean, these people are highly selective, and I think that if people want to protest the behavior of a particular religious leader, then people are allowed to do that. That's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. Is this an attack on, to me, it feels like an attack on the First Amendment and trying to, and this is just my assessment, you don't have to agree with this, Mr. Attorney General, but trying to tie me as a journalist, to turn me into an activist, and I'm not. I was not there in activism at all. I was there just simply chronicling what they were doing, which is what journalists do all the time.
Well, let me just remind you, Don, they're over here throwing comedian. They're over here throwing comedians off the air for telling jokes. So Jimmy Kimmel's is off the air because he's making jokes. They won't. The Mad King won't let you say jokes about him. So the First Amendment is completely optional in their eyes. And let me tell you, the First Amendment includes freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom of to redress grievances. So that is absolutely under attack when FCC licenses are on the line based on whether or not you're congenial in the eyes of the president. So yeah, join the club. I know as journalists want to be objective, neutral, but the truth is, if you have an unjust ruler, objectivity is a threat to them. And so, sorry, but that's how it is, friend. Um, your First Amendment prerogatives are interfering with their tyrannical prerogatives, and that's how it is.
Can I ask you something, Dale? And you can jump in if you have a question, but I want to ask you about what I've heard is there's the FACE Act that they want to try to prosecute people for the activists, and they're saying that with me, but again, I'm not an activist. I'm not one of the protesters. And then the what is it called? The KKK Act, right, DL? That they're saying
Sure.
the Ku Klux Klan Act. Can you tell us about that? Are you familiar with that?
No, I can only say this. It's
Well, I
ironic
was asking the Attorney General if he's familiar.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the FACE Act. In Minnesota, we uphold the right of a woman to choose, and some of the activists, will, sort of so we're invoked. It has to the law has to do with whether or not people's freedom to protest, in generally regarding reproductive clinics and things like that. So that's the FACE Act, and then you have but how are they tying you into it? That is escaping me.
I don't know. And there's someone in here saying, Don, you were chanting. I never chanted at all. Someone said, Don, you were chanting. Never chanted. That's not what I was doing at all.
Well, if you're chanting, Don, let me just tell you, when we're not chanting, chanting cannot be a crime. It's freedom of expression, right? I mean, I can tell you that, you may not have been chanting, or you may have been, I don't know, you say you weren't chanting, I believe you, but chanting can never be the basis of a criminal act,
You
right?
know what's
In
interesting to
America, you
me?
can chant.
What's
Yeah,
what's,
go
what's
for it.
hard for me to what's hard for me to accept is when in Charlottesville they chanted Jews will not replace us. That was protected. There were good people on both sides.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
I have fought and advocated for the right of everybody to say anything they want to. I'm a proponent of the First Amendment. It is clear that this administration and MAGA in general despises protesters way more than they despise pedophiles. That
Wow.
when somebody says stand back and stand by, when they say racist things, their speech is protected. And I advocate for that. I want everybody to be able to say what they say. But let somebody speak up in opposition. You have an administration right now that is more concerned about the rights of Iranians to protest against a government that they think is tyrannical and brutal, but using the same power of the United States of America to squelch that same speech there. It's
Yeah.
it's 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 insane to me.
Deeply hypocritical, and I'm glad you pointed it out for people listening. When I heard him when he was talking about Iran, I was thinking that this guy has seen the light about all his bad behavior here, but he meant Iran. He's for human rights in Iran, freedom of expression in Iran, but not in the United States.
Right.
Yeah.
So how is that America first? How is it that you will protect the rights of people thousands of miles? You're willing to use our national treasure and our military might. People forget that at the same time he used military prowess in Libya, in Somalia, in Venezuela. He used that same military to a greater or lesser degree in Los Angeles, in Minneapolis, in
Portland.
Chicago, and in DC, and in Portland. And there's no difference between the way he talked about the leader of Venezuela and the way he talked about Gavin Newsom or the governor of Minneapolis.
Hmm.
Well, can I just add on to that, John? And so I think that DL is absolutely right, and that's why I think we do need to reach out to the international community and tell
Right.
them, look, we are dealing with a tyrannical ruler who is in violating the human rights, who's persecuting a state, who is attacking people based on whether they agree with him or not. He said overtly that his action against Minnesota was because we have not voted for him. He said, I won Minnesota 3 times, but they denied me my victory. So that's why I'm going to let this shooting of Renee Goodbeat go by. I mean, it is political, it is First Amendment, it is wrong, and we've got to internationalize this particular problem. And I think the world community should stand up and denounce it, just like
Yeah.
we would if it happened anywhere else.
Can you talk to us about now? DL was joking about it, saying he's never been on next to a Klansman. But what is this KKK Act, Mr. Attorney General?
Yeah. So the KKK Act is when people will use for the threat of force and violence or force of violence to deny you your human rights, your civil rights, under the color of law. And so this is, I mean, look, it's a wild stretch and inappropriate. And the FACE Act, by the way, is designed to protect the rights of people seeking their reproductive rights, to be protected, and so that people, for a religious reason, cannot just use religion to break into women's reproductive health centers, right? So how they are stretching either of these laws to apply to people who protested in a church over the behavior or the perceived behavior of a religious leader is beyond me. But they don't mind stretching these days. I mean, how are they how do they have under investigation Jerome Powell, head of the Fed, James Comey, Letitia James, Mark Kelly, who's a U.S. senator, who said that soldiers can disobey illegal orders, and now you got Walls and Frey. We are in the age where the president and the Department of Justice do not care about true legality. They care about using the criminal justice system as a weapon. So I think that the FACE Act and the KKK Act are on their face inapplicable, and so they don't. It doesn't make sense to me. I've been a lawyer for 35 years, so that's my 2 cents on that, bro.
Well, I appreciate your 2 cents on that, Mr. Attorney General. There, some of the protesters, well, not directly, but a friend of a protester reached out and said they're concerned. How concerned should these protesters be about being charged?
Well, in the age of Trump, everybody better be concerned. I mean, like I said, in the age of Trump, you got Tish James, James Comey, Jerome Powell, Mark Kelly, and the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of. I mean, these are clearly engaged in legal activity. So I would not tell anybody, "Oh, don't worry about that. That's an idle threat." I believe you will be vindicated. I will believe you will get justice. But between the moment that they try to arrest you or investigate you and when you're finally set free, I think you ought to take them seriously. I do.
DL, what were you saying?
I think that last week I watched the President of the United States of America talk about how civil rights was bad and unfair to white men. Now, civil rights wasn't called superior rights. It wasn't called equal rights. It was called civil rights. And the whole of the country burned up. People were hung. Dogs were sucked and sick on people. There were riots. All because you asked white people to be nice. Nice. Civil. Civility is the lowest form of human. You'll say, if I'm going to quote, I'm going to be civil. We have civil disobedience. This thing is about subjugation. It is about bringing people to heel. You cannot tell me freedom when you're denied. You know freedom to me when you try to deny it to other people. And the most basic freedom is the ability to say, I object. I disagree. And all you did was chronicle it. All you did was be a camera. It is almost like being mad at the camera who sees you run a stoplight. It's crazy. And then Nicki Minaj, I can't listen. The fact that people were protesting or people were fighting for the rights of people in her particular circumstance to be treated like humans is ironic to me that she would fight against. You're fighting against the people who are fighting for your right to be treated humanely. And you're fighting for the people who want to take those rights away from you. And then she more worried about who you, like, Nicki Minaj got a whole lot of, she meant to be more worried about Chris Hansen than Don Lemon.
This is what DL is talking about is Nicki Minaj. This is what Nicki Minaj tweeted about me. I think she's tweeted a couple things, but anyways, I usually don't respond, but I did. Can you put up the tweet? This is Nicki Minaj, and there's some colorful language in here. I don't see it. I'm not sure if you guys see it. Is it up or am I just not seeing it?
Yeah, it's up.
There it is. Okay. She says that Don and she's sea sucking lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. By the way, I'm a Christian, so I don't know what she's talking about. Lock him up. And then she has a Chucky doll. And my response to her DL was that it should have been a pick-me doll because that was more descriptive of her because she's such a pick-me.
I tell you what, her husband is a registered sex offender. Let's be clear. She's more worried about, I think they're safer around you than him. Her brother has been in jail. Let's be clear. If she shouldn't even mention kids, she should have been Cabbage Patch Kids, New Kids on the Block, Sour Patch Kids,
Kid Cudi.
all.
Well, Don, all I want to say is I didn't know any of that.
Keep getting out of this.
No, but let me just say, though, I didn't know any of this, but it sounds to me like she's trying to get her man a pardon, and so she's kissing ass real hard to certain people.
Yeah.
And maybe her brother. That's what I said today. That Harvey Levin asked me on TMZ, and people say what they want about TMZ. TMZ has always been really good to me, and when they ask me to come on, I come on because they're straight shooters. Harvey Levin said what I saw was journalism, and then we talked about the whole Nicki Minaj thing, and I told him I don't usually respond to that, but Nicki Minaj, I believe, is trying to garner something from the Trump administration.
And you would think that a woman that sung a song called Anaconda would know a snake when she saw one.
Hey, gentlemen,
I
gotta bounce.
Thank you.
Don, DL,
out of here.
Bless you guys. But I just want to say one quick thing before I hit the door. The KKK Act was a piece of legislation designed to protect African Americans who were being literally terrorized and murdered and killed because we newly emerged from bondage and servitude. So the Reconstruction Congress passes the act to say that the federal government will not allow the Klan to attack African Americans asserting their rights. So think about the perversion of the federal government saying, oh, we're going to use this act to punish people who are reporting on facts going on. Everything is different. And in an unjust world, the just people are going to be persecuted, Don. So hold your chin up. And let me tell you, DL, I love your comedy. You're such a gifted man. But now they're throwing people in jail and kicking them off the air for telling jokes. Yeah. That is one hell of a moment that we were in. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. I'm about to go deal with some things. And bless y'all.
You know, when it's things, it's some stuff. He's dealing with some things.
All legal.
No, thank you, Mr. Attorney General. I know that you're busy, and I know that you're probably out visiting some sites. You're taking care of the citizens of Minnesota, and I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all. Take care, guys.
Take care, man.
So DL, let's talk about this because I think that the Nicki Minaj thing really got to you.
Well, it's insulting. We have a group of factions that is more concerned about protesters than pedophiles. They're more concerned about who you sleep with. The truth of this country is that this is a mirror holding us up to ourselves. We are in a moment of, it's a tipping point. I don't know that America ever becomes or ever recovers from this. But I think without a death, there can't be a resurrection. But all you did, imagine getting mad at the mirror because it saw you gain 15 pounds. That's exactly what happened with me. And it insults me because I watched what these people do. And the fact that nobody says anything about it. You the same, a day after, 5 years to the date after Trump pardoned people who were engaged in active insurrection, you watch somebody be killed and say there's no need to. So if you can't see the riot, you can't see a murder. But they get to veil their eyes and decide what it is that is relevant to them. And that's to me something that is worth fighting against.
DL, I want to tell folks since we're here, DL and I have a couple shows. We're going on tour. DL, people have been asking us, when you coming to our city? When you're coming to our city? So
Well, you gotta. Wait, I can't travel with a Klansman. I won't do that. But what I'll do,
DL.
a black gay Klansman, man, you checking every box.
Are you looking at me?
If I wasn't so mad, I would. This is the most ironic. I've never seen anything like this before.
DL, and DL, anything goes. On February 3rd, DL and I are going to be in New York. On February 4th, DL and I are going to be in New York. And then we'll be in Atlanta on February 17th and February 18th. So two.
Well, I thought we we're going to be on the 5th, we're going to be in Philly. Are we still not, we're not doing that now?
No, Philly, because I'm going to be out near you at the Super Bowl or one of those
Thank
things.
you.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No worries.
You want to do LA? You want to do San Francisco? We can do a West Coast.
Man, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Let's do it. You know, instead of calling it Deal and Deal, we should call it the Don Lemon Bail Tour. We're going to have.
How much money do you think I could get in a GoFundMe? Because
now you got to kill an innocent black person to get that kind of money, or a gay woman. You can't. That don't come free, and that's sad, but it's absolutely true. And isn't it ironic that the very people, like, and I said this earlier, Black Lives Matter was responsible for that protest, but they were speaking in the behest of a white woman who was murdered. They thought unjustly, or at least it deserving of investigation. The people who claimed all lives matter were busy paying $1 million for her murder.
Yeah,
and that's where we are.
Can I tell you, DL, today? So I did this big King Day event. All civil rights people who worked with, marched with Dr. King or whatever. And when they read what was happening, I talked about it once on stage. They were like, okay, no big deal, good.
Right.
Which is amazing. They had that attitude. And now people are like, oh, I can't get out of my house. I'm nervous or whatever. To a person, oh, that's great. You're standing on something. You're getting in good trouble. And so I was like, okay, all right, I'm down. I'm okay. Maybe.
But all you were doing, all you did was chronicle it. All you did. And so to me, like, I see these conflations. Like, a lot of people will tell me that on the right will tell me how much Charlie Kirk was like Martin Luther King. And I believe that they'll actually believe that when white people name a street after Charlie Kirk, that they scared to drive down. That's what I know. I don't mess around on Charlie Kirk Boulevard. And Charlie Kirk Boulevard will be in the roughest streets in our neighborhoods.
Thank you, brother. I love you, man.
All right, man. I love you too. You be careful out here. Hold your head, man. We got you.
All right. Thank you.
But the one thing I won't do is hold your burning cross. I won't do that. But other than that.
Bye, DL. Thank you, man.
All right, baby boy, for sure. Love you, man. See you later, baby.
Love you. I'll see you soon. We got much, much more. We have a great panel of attorneys, legal minds here who can discuss what's going on. Okay. And so you want to hear from them. 2 minutes, please. A word from our sponsors, and we're back with a long segment, and we're going to discuss it with these two very smart legal people. Here it is. Support comes from Shopify. When I started the Don Lemon Show, I was doing everything: scripts, filming, schedules, merch, branding, all of that. It was a lot. And every day felt like another decision I had to solve on my own. And that's where Shopify comes in. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and about 10% of all e-commerce in the US. We use Shopify right here at the Don Lemon Show to bring you the merch that you love. You don't need to know how to design a website. Shopify gives you beautiful, ready-to-go templates, plus AI tools to help with product images, descriptions, and even discount codes. They also help you find customers and handle inventory, shipping, and returns. So if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Start your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/lemon. That's shopify.com/lemon. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. A new year doesn't require a new you. Sometimes it just means a lighter you. Therapy helps you understand what has been weighing you down, what you're holding on to, and what it's time to let go of. For me, it's about learning when to release what I can't control and focus on what I can. Having a neutral professional space to talk that through matters. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. Their therapists are fully licensed, and they do the work of matching you with someone who fits your needs. If it's not the right fit, you can switch. at any time. So BetterHelp has over 30,000 therapists and has served more than 5 million people. That's a lot. Get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/Don Lemon. betterhelp.com/Don Lemon.
Oh, you're muted, Don.
On with my computer. There we go. I'm still hearing the Shopify commercial. Is that just me?
Yeah, it's done. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm still hearing it, which is bizarre. Okay, but anyway, so hey, let's bring in Charles Coleman, and I want to bring in Monique Presley, our smart legal folks. We appreciate them joining us here on the Don Lemon Show. Are they up? I don't know. I think I'm having some issues. So Charles, as usual, you and Monique say hi, take over. I'm going to go out and come back in, okay, so that I can hear. I'll be back in 2 seconds, but I'll see you in 2 seconds.
Hey, Charles.
Hi, Monique. I thought about you as I was getting on today because I literally heard you in my head before I was getting, logged in, and I heard you say you're a lawyer first, the legal advice, the legal analysis, and a little bit of commentary. I was like, yes, Monique, I heard you. So even though you weren't here, you were here because I was like, all right, how am I going to approach this conversation? And then I heard Monique in my head. She said, you're a lawyer first, legal commentary first, legal analysis first, and then the commentary. So I'm
back. Sorry, guys.
Commentary that is supported by the facts and by our legal training. Yes.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Charles,
welcome back to the Don Lemon Show.
Thank you. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Monique. Hey, listen, Charles, I just heard from the producers. I didn't see when DL was on that you wanted to come on. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get him back. I texted him. Let's see if he comes back.
Please do. I'd like to. Yeah. Please do.
Yeah.
So good to see you, although under the circumstances, perhaps not so much.
No, I am so thankful to see him, and I'm not outside with my free Don Lemon sign.
Thank you, guys.
I'm thankful that I do not have to fly to Minnesota this day.
Yes, I know. Monique, you and a couple of other people are ready to, come and take your earrings off with some Vaseline. That's all.
I don't play about you.
I know.
That needs to be known.
So Don, that leaves me by myself in court for both of y'all.
Yeah.
No, because I don't play about Don, and I'm going to fight the way that I've been trained to fight.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
I can throw a fist or two, but that's not my best skill.
Yeah, her best skills in the courtroom. I want to bring DL back because Charles, you said you wanted to ask him something, and I was ready.
No, I always like seeing when you have esteemed minds on that happen to be the bros. So I just have to say hello to my friend and my frat brother DL Hughley.
What's up, teammate?
What's going on, dog? It's good.
I'm a member of Sega.
Please don't see, and this is the thing, Don. I was about to say. You black journalists cannot stay out of trouble this week. If it ain't Stephen A. Smith, it's you black journalists.
You said journalist. Stephen A. Smith is not a journalist. Maybe a sports commentator. I don't know. Stephen A. Smith.
I mean, I don't know what's going on over there, but no, I think on behalf of all of us, Don, you were talking with Keith Ellison and with DL in the last block about how seriously you should take this. And I do think that there is a very strong thread that suggests that you should take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But understand that these are the situations, and it's kind of sort of like ironic and hokey that we're having this conversation on MLK Day. But nonetheless, these are the situations that end up becoming very important moments as part of larger movements. And I'm not suggesting that this should or has to go up to district courts or circuit courts or what have you, but this trying to make an issue out of the First Amendment and violation there with respect to the Klan Act and everything else, this is the type of case that somebody looks back on and says, wow, Don Lemon didn't even know how important he was in this moment.
Right.
And
the country changed because a woman said I ain't getting up from my seat.
Right. And these are those types of moments. You put a microphone in someone's face and ask them a question. Right. And all of a sudden now there is a firestorm of controversy. I do think that you should take that very seriously. Because I think that in this moment, this administration has shown that they specialize in the vulgar. And what I mean by vulgar, I mean in the Greek sense of the spectacle. They specialize in the spectacle. What Harmeet Dillon has talked about publicly, first of all, I want to point out, and Monique can back me up on this, how irregular it would be for a sitting division or department leader within the Department of Justice to go on a podcast and talk about a pending criminal investigation. That is unheard of. Kristen Clark sat at the head of the DOJ's Civil Rights Division for 4 years, and we never heard her voice publicly. She spoke with the work that she did. And so this administration specializes in the spectacle. In that way, I would say this is something to take seriously, because for them, this is a matter of trying to, as DL talked about in the last segment, continue to make folk bend the knee, continue to make folk try to capitulate to their demands. And so you, my friend, may have just become a very important historical figure.
Right.
He was already a very important historical figure. Just want to say that on behalf of my friend. The reason why they're using his name and throwing Don's name in is because he is a very important historical figure, and now he's a very historical figure, important figure in independent media. But I don't have to tell you, Charles, that whether Don was taking it seriously or not, for the past 24 hours, Monique Presley has been taking it so
well. Look, Monique.
Seriously.
Just make sure he can. Like, just make sure he can play our tour dates.
There's been no hang time. There's been the whole time, because it is serious, and it ain't gonna be no case. No, because here's the thing: Don has to keep doing his work, and the reason why he's surrounded with is so they can understand. I will punch you in the face and ask questions later, and it will be a legal punch. It will be, you've never seen us coming. It will be, don't play that with him. It will be, there is an army. Don't get confused. He's not one man because you see one man behind a microphone. There is an army, and we don't play about our people. Now, when people can't pronounce the name of their own fraternity, I leave them alone. I leave them to their own devices.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth now. Hang on. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
You're not going to tell me to hang on about him, Jill. I will add something to it before I take it back.
It's not his fault. He had to pull his tongue out of somebody's ass to say it. It's crazy. You can't just, you know what I'm saying? You can't.
He has his own struggles, and so I leave him to it. But where John Lennon is concerned, watch. Watch.
Well, let me say,
Monique, let me just say this. I got to go and finish my drink, but I will say this. It's always good to see you, team. Monique, I adore you. Don, let me just say this. Whatever happens to you, you better be able to play these dates. I don't block these off of my cabinet. So if Colby can go to court and play, you can go to court and play, Devin. So all right, Black Klansman. And you know what? We're gonna buy some sheets and we'll burn something together. We'll get some we're gonna get some citronella candles. We're gonna some tea.
For legal purposes, I can't hear what's going on right now.
All right. Thank you, DL.
All right, Confederate General. I'll see you later, baby.
Charles, let me just say this, and Monique, thank you for that. Look, it's not that I'm not taking this seriously. And just because I smile, it doesn't mean that I'm not taking something seriously. But you're not going to steal my joy. And I'm standing on the side of the ancestors, and I'm standing on the right side of history and on the Constitution and on rights and all of the above. So do I take it seriously? Sure. But you're not going to steal my joy. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to laugh about it. And it doesn't mean that you're going to drag me down. I see the ridiculousness of this. I see the hypocrisy in this. I get it. And so at the end of the day, my spirit, I am calm. I've been telling Monique, you know what? Okay, fine. Do what you must. But I already know what's going to happen. And it's not going to, and at the end of the day, you're going to look like a fool. And so, I'm good. I'm good because I have people like you and an army, as you say, behind me. But also, my mama raised me right. a lot of people fought for me to be able to have freedom, to be able to sit here, to be able to even be in the place that I'm in today, to be able to walk into a giant ballroom and host a Dr. King Day breakfast is, that gives me confidence, and that gives me the courage, and that gives me strength, and I'm good. I'm good.
Don,
So thank you, though.
I think that is important. There's so much to be. I know that we're here for legal analysis, and Monique's going to get at me for the legal analysis, and we can do that. But I will say, as someone who has had to sit through in different capacities and watch Alvin Bragg indict and ultimately convict Donald Trump, and watch Beanie Thompson sit at the chair of the select committee on January 6th, and watch Letitia James execute a civil case against the Trump organization, and then also face the retribution from that. I do want to point out that, and this is very apropos for the day that we are observing, the history of what it is of Black people in America standing firm and being resolved that they are on the right side of right. And yet again, this is something that falls directly in line with this at a point when the administration has so characteristically attempted to overplay its hand. And I think that warrants noting, if there is any tradition, Don, that you have remained a part of, and this is before today, sure, but certainly encapsulated in this current conversation, it is the tradition of standing on the right side of right, despite the cacophony of noise that we will hear from naysayers and people who do not wish us well, as we simply stand trying to fulfill the promise of American democracy, more so than the people who are deriding us for doing it. Mm-hmm. And so I do think that warrants, from a big picture standpoint, some pointing out.
Mm-hmm. Monique?
Right. I mean, you were just doing your job. And I hope you get some sort of Nobel Prize for doing your job. I texted you, I did, when you dropped the donut. I was cracking up. I was like, oh my God, he's going to get an Emmy. I had watched everything and I was like, that dude, and he's serious. He's like thinking about, am I going to spend this $1.50? Will you share this Cinnabon with me? And it is the genius of you being able to come from what happened at the church. Here, people need coffee, people need donuts, do it, get that done, and then go on and do more of your work. But that is all in a day's work for you. And I need to be real clear that you were not being civilly disobedient. Maybe you were in good trouble in that a lot of people whose job it is to do the job you were doing are too fearful to do the job and to show up. But when you walked into that church, not leading the protesters, but covering the protesters, you were doing what any good reporter would do. Follow the story, cover the story. If the story had been a fire, if the story had been a murder, if the story had been theft, if the story had been too much trash, the reporter would cover the story. And that's what you did. And in Minnesota, a church is a public venue on private property, meaning nobody had to ask permission to go in there. Now, if they had asked the protesters to leave because they were being civilly disobedient, or they had asked the cops to remove them, none of that would have had anything to do with you, because you were the person in the media who had every right under Minnesota law and federal protections under the Constitution to cover the story. Let me go a little bit deeper. Minnesota is a one-party consent state. So the people who were in the church had no reasonable expectation of privacy. So not just you covering the story, but your cameraman, your microphone, your footage, your live video, all of that is covered under what the Fourth Estate used to do regularly and now only does sometimes, and that's report the story as it's happening. So for the Harmeet Dillons and the Pam Bondis and for all of the rest of them and them, you can throw the FACE Act and the CARE Act and the KKK Act. How dare you on Martin Luther King Jr. holiday bring up the KKK Act and say that you're going to use it to charge a Black man with doing his job. Like, there's no low point that they will not go. But my point, because I am, as Charles said, I'm gonna sit in the seat of a legal analyst and say that we all saw the facts because the footage is available. And you, even in the church, said you were covering, not participating. And then you spoke and interviewed the leader, the pastor who was there that day, and he didn't ask you to leave. He stood there and talked to you. So there's not any argument that you were even trespassing someplace that you were not welcome. And that's my opening, my closing. That's my facts. That's my middle. And I am done.
Charles, before you weigh in, though, I think this will help. Thank you, Monique, for that. I want to play this for you. The producers just got in. Roll it, please.
And the fact that man, that Mr. Lemon, thought that was a good idea to do that and then to race away from it saying it was freedom of the press, well, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche.
Yeah.
Anybody? Bueller?
Yeah, no, he's the one who starts all of it, though, right? He's that little instigator. He's Petty Patrick, who gets on Twitter or somewhere and says, I don't think people are supposed to be doing things. And he doesn't have any concept of what the law actually is. The only thing that surpasses this administration's lawlessness is their incompetence. And it's their incompetence that ultimately will save us. Charles.
So I want to pick up exactly where
my new nickname is That Man, by the way, but go on.
That Man. You are that man. I want to pick up where Monique left off in terms of the incompetence of this administration, because there's a very important point here. When I read and listened to Harmeet Dillon's comments, one of the things that struck me was that we have sort of taken, too many of us have approached this as water under the bridge, that this DOJ is openly trying to execute the will of the executive branch, which is not the function of the DOJ. I want to be very, very clear about this. The justification that the DOJ is using in connecting what it is that you were allegedly standing in the way of and connecting that to the White House is inappropriate. It's highly inappropriate in terms of the function and purpose of how the DOJ operates. And it is yet another display of the incompetence of this DOJ's leadership. The other thing that I want to say from a procedural standpoint, because Monique did a wonderful job laying out the law, I want to go a little bit further and sort of make the distinction, particularly for your audience. For everything that Monique just explained and all of it being legally sound, none of this means that this administration will not attempt to file an indictment against Don. There is a difference between not moving forward and moving forward knowing that you have no game plan. And the incompetence and the lack of credibility of this administration has shown us repeatedly, vis-a-vis James Comey, vis-a-vis Letitia James on more than one occasion, and vis-a-vis a few other cases that we can talk about, that they are not averse to filing cases that they know that they cannot win. And so if by chance we see this continue to move forward and escalate, I don't want anyone out there who's watching to sort of listen to us and say, oh, but you said they didn't have a case. There are a number of outcomes, as we, like I said, have seen already with this administration and the cases that they have filed, where they essentially are dismissed before they get to see the light of day. And so do not be discouraged by that. Understand that, as I was saying earlier, that this is an administration that operates with a penchant toward the vulgar, the spectacle, and doing things just to be seen. And so if they do something in this regard and that ultimately occurs, it should not be a surprise, nor, because of the reasons that Monique laid out, should it be a surprise if these things are summarily dismissed once they are responded to with competent legal counsel. But all of these things are a reflection of this administration's sort of willingness to overplay their hand in favor of the spectacle and without any regard for its own credibility and its own competence.
One thing, I want to ask you guys something else, but I got to get this one break in, and then we're back in 2 minutes. This episode of The Don Lemon Show is brought to you by Graza. Everyone knows I love to cook for my friends, and Graza has become my go-to olive oil. It is fresh, affordable, and you can actually taste the difference. Graza picks, presses, and bottles their olives all in the same season, and you can see the harvest date right on every single bottle. They have 2 extra virgin olive oils. Sizzle is perfect for everyday cooking, roasting, sauteing, whatever you're making. Drizzle is bold and flavorful, great for finishing dishes or dipping bread. I always keep both on hand. Get 20% off of your first order at graza.co when you use the code LEMON. I recommend the duo sizzle and drizzle together. Graza.co and use the code LEMON. It's graza.co and then you use the code LEMON. This episode of The Don Lemon Show is brought to you by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Equality under the law only works when the government stays neutral. The First Amendment wasn't written to protect one religion. It was written to protect all of us. And right now, that promise is under threat from Christian nationalists who believe their beliefs should control everyone else's beliefs and everyone else's lives. The Freedom from Religion Foundation is pushing back, defending students, families, and communities from religious coercion and government overreach. So if you believe freedom means freedom for everyone, stand with them. Here's what you do, okay? Go to ffrf.us/New Year. Or you can text Don, D-O-N, to 511-511. Again, that's ffrf.us/New Year, or you can text Don to 511-511. Text fees may apply. Thanks to our sponsors. Our sponsors. I want to play this, and back now with our guests, the wonderful Monique Presley, excuse me, and Charles Coleman is here as well. I think, am I still around? Okay, I am. Okay. So I'm having connectivity issues. I don't know what's going on. So I want to play this, and this is the moment in the church just after it happened. And by the way, notice that I am standing off to the side, and I'm not in the middle of the scrum where people are protesting. I'm standing off to the side, but here it is. Members and leaders, they have stopped the service. A lot of people, a number of people have left. There are some who are still sitting here.
Are you okay with the injustice that's happening within your city? We pray for justice. Are you okay? No, so you're not okay with
I'm just here. I'm just here photographing.
Are you okay with the
I'm not part of the group. I'm just here photographing. I'm a journalist. So, and there you go. I mean, look, and I said that several times when people were asking me for some reason. Do they think I was with them because I'm black? Like, I don't know. What was it? Who knows?
I don't know why they made those assumptions, but what I will say is that the audio and video that you seem to have captured from a legal standpoint certainly isn't going to help them make out any case that you were, in fact, associated with or leading or participating in what this is here. So from a factual standpoint, obviously this is not legal advice or a legal conclusion without seeing everything. It certainly appears that what you have done in chronicling what took place and by way of just simply documenting with transparency what it is that you were observing only further to buttress your case that you were there as an observer, exercising, the right to freedom of the press, the right to freedom of speech, and what was being observed. So I can't for the life of me figure out why there was any sort of assumption made that you were with them, but certainly your responses that I heard on this audio were extremely clear and straightforward and leave no sort of room for misinterpretation.
Monique?
The people on Newsmax and Fox and all those places, they know full well because they have access to the video from start to finish of your live. They know that you were neither leading the protesters in there, nor were you participating in the protest. So every time they put like on their lower third, Don Lemon led, Don Lemon and so-and-so stormed, they are committing offenses that can make for liability for them. And I don't work for any of them when I say stand down, take this as an advisory, that they have no business doing that, because what they end up doing, what these non-reputable news organizations end up doing, is putting real people's lives in danger based on not assumptions, but things that they now know are not accurate, are not factual. So we know this administration doesn't care about facts and doesn't care about law. They just do whatever they're going to do. But these news organizations, frankly, that's why Prince Harry is all the way over in London right now, doing what he'd rather be doing anything than what he's doing, fighting for people to not be able to lie on him in broad daylight and continue to do it. So the footage is still up. Hello, news people. And also, hello, ACLU. Hello, NABJ. Hello, Freedom of the Press organizations. Hello, everybody. This is one of yours who was doing his job. And now would be a great time for you to join people like Reverend Al, like Charles, like myself, who are saying that the reason we have a constitution is so that people like Don can do the work that they did. So I'm just looking forward to everybody who's going to step up and speak up the way that Don does every time it's them.
You know, Don, Monique raises a very good point here, because part of the reason that media is in the state that it is because Donald Trump, the civilian, not necessarily Donald Trump, the president, has already shown himself to be incredibly litigious over media when things are misstated, and seems to be an intentional misstating of the facts. Even when there doesn't seem to be an intentional misstating of the facts, the media should have known better and did not sort of approach things more carefully. He has shown himself willing to litigate. And I'm not giving you legal advice here. All I'm saying is people have made some changes because of the way that the litigation has moved, and it hasn't gone well for the media outlets. And if there's anything to be taken away from this, it is that there should be the same demand for accuracy, for objectivity, and for fairness from all media outlets, even as media outlets are covering you as a member of the media when you're doing your job.
Is there a case possibly for defamation, libel, slander?
Well, Monique
He
seems
just
to know
said
more.
he's not giving you legal advice, Don.
I just said, is there a case? All right, that's it.
I would not be able to give you legal advice on that without Monique seems to know a little bit more about the contours of what is posted. Certainly, I would be mindful and suggest that you might be mindful of what is out there coming from official outlets versus what is not an official outlet, and just sort of cataloging that so you have that information. I would be aware of that. And then, of course, you know, to the extent that you yourself don't have to take account of it, you know, it may help to sort of see whether that has influenced conversation about your reputation online or what have you. But without any of the facts, it's very difficult to say whether there's a case that exists, although it's possible upon looking at the totality of everything that I was just talking about that there may be something worth further exploration.
What does that say?
It says Don Lemon and protesters storm church service.
What outlet is that, Monique?
That is Wake Up America from Newsmax.
Well, I mean, that's there you go. I mean, you know, stuff like that certainly does potentially, you know, help your case. Although I think the first sort of thing that you may need to be thinking about is how to write a second verse for Nicki Minaj, because she's gonna come back at you with a tweet.
She already did. She already came back at me.
So you gotta figure that out first.
I've never seen such a pick-me in my life. I don't understand why African Americans rock with her, because she certainly does not represent us. I don't understand why any gay person would rock with her. I don't understand why any immigrant. And as D.L. Hughley said, the people that she's talking shit about, and they're fighting for the same rights that she needs to be able to gain citizenship. Under Donald Trump, under this administration, Nicki Minaj should have been rounded up on that stage with Erica Kirk and detained and deported back to, I don't know, El Salvador, not even her own country, just like the other people that they are rounding up and detaining. I mean, am I wrong? Because isn't she undocumented?
I don't know.
I don't know that for a fact, but I have heard that. I have heard that. And certainly if that is the case, then it appears that she might be subject to the same sort of rules and enforcement that we are seeing ICE execute across the country.
Nicki Minaj has stated that she came to the U.S. as a young child and her parents who had lawful residency, and has publicly mentioned that she is not a U.S. citizen as of 2024, despite paying taxes, leading to online petitions for her deportation after certain political comments, though such petitions have no legal basis if she is a lawful resident or citizen. So Nicki Minaj speaks about being an illegal immigrant. Ebony Magazine. Nicki Minaj ride in the U.S. interstates. Yeah, so multiple petitions have been launched to deport Nicki Minaj. I'm just saying, reportedly, allegedly, she is an undocumented immigrant. That's all I'm saying. So what is she doing? What is she doing? That's it. Monique is like, okay, guys, thank you. Any final last words? I hear both of you, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Charles, but especially Monique, who has had my back since of it. Okay, no. This is not happening. You should see her text. But anyways, thank you, Monique.
What? Oh, you want me to say it out loud? So everybody,
you can text Don, but you can't text me, Monique? All right,
no. Monique, I see texts like, I support you, just things like that.
Monique, you text Don, but don't text me? That's cool. I got it.
I text Don and say, shut up.
Yeah.
I say it more respectfully, because I would never text Don and just be like, shut up. But what it really comes down to is, we're here to talk for you, and I play no games with this administration. And I think I do want to say one last thing. When I posted that I was coming on, this really famous attorney called and was like, tell that brother whatever he needs, I'm with him, and and I'm like, well, he has the right to remain silent. And what the attorney said is, but he is a journalist, he is an ethical person, and he is a man. And he is not going to stand down when he is right, even though there are plenty who would run and hide. And I respect that. And there has to be a time, which is why I say everything I say tongue in cheek. I'm a lawyer, but at the same time, I'm a woman and a human, and I understand that our Black men have been asked to just take it and take it and take it and take it. And there really comes a time when it has to be enough. And if anybody can stand like 10 toes down, it's you, Don Lemon, because you are fearless. I'd be afraid for you all the time, and you'll be like, I'll be fine.
I'm good
with you, and we are with you. That's what I'm going to say about it.
I love you guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your non-legal advice, Charles Coleman. Just
I love Don. I love that hoodie. I'm a huge
man, can I tell you? So usually you get a swag bag and you're like, I got this, and I put it on and I was like, oh my gosh, isn't that beautiful?
Oh, that hoodie is tough.
Isn't that tough?
That is tough.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw me in somebody else's merch?
Oof.
That's good.
I love this.
That's really good.
Isn't that badass? Go, Rev. And they said Rev is doing well. Rev wanted to come to the breakfast today, but Yusuf said, no, you can't go, Dad. And then he said, the mom said, He said, "Mom, you want to come today?" And he said, "Mom said I'm going to stay home with my husband." So, the family looks beautiful. I mean, it's great. It's great. Have you seen? Yusuf, right, Jackson? Yusuf's kids are so beautiful and tall. They get their height from their grandpa because Yusuf is not that tall. But anyways, I got to see Yusuf and Santita today, and just everybody. Then when I used to work here, it's just amazing, just really amazing. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate you joining. Keep hope alive.
You are somebody.
You are. Say, I am somebody.
Somebody.
And you hold out and you hold on. Do you remember that speech at the convention? Come on now. I remember when I first went to CNN in 2006, and I had moved from Chicago, and there were 2 interviews that I wanted to do that I knew, three, that would secure that people would understand that I was a journalist, and it was people that I knew. And one was Barack Obama. I got the first national interview, I believe, right when he was launching or thinking about it. It was Barack Obama. The second one was Jesse Jackson, and it was entitled, "Is Jesse Jackson Still Relevant?" And when I ran the piece, everybody's like, "Hell yeah, Jesse Jackson is still relevant." And then the last one, which was very controversial, but I was one of 2 of us. What was Martin Bashir, who's doing a documentary, and me got to sit down with Louis Farrakhan at his house with his wife. Never happens. Never, ever, ever happens. And every day, not every day, but just occasionally, all the time, people will say, they'll walk up and say, that interview you did with the minister, that was amazing, Don. That was amazing. Because people didn't, he's controversial as hell. He says stuff that people don't agree with, but he is a very relevant person in the history of America, and especially here in Chicago. What he's done with the Nation of Islam is just, unbelievable. So there you go. Those are my 3 interviews when I first got to CNN that I was very proud of. And so, yeah, there you go.
That was everybody black.
And look at the panel right here.
Everybody black.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
All right, Don. See you, Monday.
See you soon. Thank you again. Thanks again. Oh, crazy. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your support. There are so many people I've been wanting to shout you guys out, but I've missed a lot of people. Hey, Jane R. 2511, thank you. We're all with you, Don. I appreciate your support. Also, the Art of Distractions top tier says Crystal Gilgore. This shouldn't be about Don doing his job reporting. It should be about what he reported, and it's disgusting. P.S. Epstein. Thank you for that. How fast can we get that man? Can we get that man merch? That's my new name, that man. Thank you, Yanni Boo Boo 22. I think that's a pretty good one, that man. I'm a Chi-Town West Sider, and I'm not going to play with anybody about you. These folks must be crazy, says Majestic 1V. Thank you, Majestic 1V. I appreciate your support. Mr. Lemon says, Shauna Carter, thank you very much for your generosity and your support as well. And welcome to all of our new members. The way that you help us stay on the air is that you hit the like and subscribe button. You become a member. That's how you support us. Like, subscribe, become a member. Subscriptions are free. A member to any of our platforms, whether it is YouTube, many of you are watching on Twitch, twitch.tv/Don Lemon, and Substack, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Okay, so if you want to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, especially how you can vote for us for the NAACP Image Awards, it's at the top of the Don Lemon Show thing. If you go down, Andy, there it is. Oh, they moved it. I think they're changed. Oh, there they are. There it is. So you can vote for us at 4 categories for us. The thing is that Nikki, can you explain? Have they explained to you how you have to do this? Yes,
I can explain for you.
Okay, so here's the thing. Everybody listen, because I don't know if any of the votes that we have voted, any of the votes that you have cast, I don't know if they have been registered, because it's very difficult. And I talked to the folks over at the NAACP, and I said, the website, guys, people are asking me, they're not sure if their votes are registering because they're just clicking it and there's no submit button. And as it turns out, there is, but you got to go back out and do it. It's crazy. What is it?
So you have to go into each category and select the Don Lemon Show to vote for it. But then you have to go back out to the home page, the main vote page, which is vote.naacpimageawards.net, where it lists all of the categories. Scroll all the way to the bottom and hit submit now.
Oh my God. So you go back out to that main
Oh,
page.
here we can see it. That's perfect.
Where's the submit now?
All the way down to the bottom. All the way down. As far down as it goes.
It doesn't, that's as far down as it goes. See?
No, you can't see it on screen, but it is there.
It's there. Okay. And there's a submit button. What color is it? Red? What is it?
It's yellow.
No,
like the
yellow.
vote now buttons.
Wow. Don't you guys think
I'm
that's a little
actually going to share my
complicated?
screen and I'll show you right now.
Okay.
Wait, I got it here.
Oh,
Oh, there it is. Submit
there it
now.
is.
So I don't think that any of those things, guys, any of you voted. If you didn't do that, it didn't register. Isn't that a pain? I told them, and nothing against the NAACP. Obviously, I love them because they've nominated me before, but that's a little clunky and complicated. And what I said to them is that I've learned in this whole digital space and social space that the KISS principle applies. You guys know what the KISS is, right? Keep it simple, stupid. That's just a saying. I'm not calling them stupid. I mean myself as well. The simpler it is, the better, because people are still adapting to this whole digital environment. There are people who are still saying, how do I get you on the YouTube? Now, what do I have to do? What do blah, 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 blah. They don't know. And so please go vote again and then go back out to the main page and all the way at the bottom and hit submit. And I think you can vote like every 24 hours. It redoes it, but just check. Go to the top of our page, go to the 4 things, and then go back out and hit submit now on the thing. Okay? Okay. And then if you go back to donlemon.com, you see those dates that I have up with DL Hughley. It's at the top of donlemon.com. Go there. We are on February 2nd and 3rd. We're in New York. And then February 17th and 18th. I believe those are the dates. Yes. February 3rd and 4th. February 3rd and 4th, we're in New York. And then February 17th and 18th, we are in Atlanta. Okay? So go do that. And then check out our merch. And yeah. Man, I want to get this. I need to grow an afro like the Rev and put all of my everything there. But we do merch, lady. Tim, we need to work on that man sweatshirt or t-shirt or something. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let me just tell you this. I want you to be informed without being inundated until I see you back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time here on the Don Lemon Show, Don Lemon channel. Keep the hope. Keep hope alive. Have a dream. Okay? Thank you, Dr. King, for fighting for all of us, no matter what our ethnicity, background, gender. Thank you for fighting the good fight as well, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive and turn the TV off. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.